cause. And something I want to say, we are not just here to complain, we are also here to find solutions. By the time
fellow Nigerians, if you think what is going on in the country right now is a joke, I think you should have a rethink. Nigerians all over the world are hungry at the present situation of their country. What is happening right now all over the world is not just about Endsars. What you see all over the world is typical expression of anger that has been bottled up for years. People are waking up. Nigerians are saying no to slavery. Nigerians are tired of living as slaves in their own country. 60 years ago, Nigeria gained independence. But the question is, are we truly independent? Powers have exchanged hands for the past 60 years, and everything keep on deteriorating. For the past 60 years, no education, no good roads, the health sector is bad, business don't thrive here in the country, and that is why you see many people run out of the country, because they want a system that works. They don't want their children to live in a system that is corrupt by our leaders, by bad governance. And if you want to know what you see happening right now, it's no hurting. We will never stop until we get what we want, because the future is in our hands, and we will do everything in our power.
It is enshrined in Nigerian constitution and the constitution of most countries, the right to peacefully protest. It is against everything I stand for. It is against the values I've been brought up with. It's the values I hope to pass on to my children. To see our young ones murdered on the streets, to see stories cooked up just because they're pointing the light towards the North Star, just because they refuse to accept the corruption in the society. We have students who have not gone back to school in Nigeria for a long time, just because the government wouldn't pay lecturers. But we've got people in positions of government who are stealing the country dry. Yes, you can quote me, they are stealing the country dry. And we cannot, and we would not pretend that all is well. I think we accept that most people amongst us would not be here if our country was working well. We failed our youth, and they've decided to correct the path. And I'm standing here with all of you, my brothers and sisters, to say, we know what is happening, we stand against it, and we will not succumb. If this is all it takes, we will do it. If more is required, we will do it. Endsars.
So if you have anything to say, just let us know. Meanwhile, let's have the music.
I'll call on Mazi Ben Azenta, please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mazi Ben Azenta. I don't know if we've had, just coming in now a little late, I don't know if we've had a minute silence for the souls of our heroes that went to be with the Lord on the 20th of October 2020. If we have not done that, can we please observe a minute's silence? May the souls of our departed heroes and patriots who died on October 20th, 2020 rest in perfect peace. I welcome everybody here today on this August occasion. And as the president said, or the vice president did say, if things were not bad in Nigeria, most of us wouldn't have been here. Yes, our hearts ache. We've shed tears. We've cried. We've expressed our disbelief on what happened and what is happening in Nigeria. If we can step a little bit back and take a cursory assessment of everything that transpired since the 7th of October. For some of us, we don't want to dwell in despair. For me in particular, I am overwhelmed that Nigeria has got people, young people, who can lead that country out of the present doldrum. That is what hardens my heart. That if people from different backgrounds and classes and tribes and religion in Nigeria can come together thinking about one and only one thing: how to make Nigeria better. Not how to enrich themselves, not how to be a billionaire, not how to ride the best car in the world, not how to live in the best house, but how do we create equity, fairness, and well-being in our country. And these people not only said it, they showed us. They demonstrated how you can run a community, and by extension, how you can run a country. So let us take solace in the fact that, yes, it might not be easy to achieve it as fast as we want, but there is a very big light in the tunnel. Our young people are very, very capable, much more intellectually sound, much more savvy than some of us elders, so to speak. I was of the opinion that the epitome of knowledge or ideas rests with age. But I have seen young people who have told me, no, the epitome of knowledge rests on their palms. They shut their means of generating funds. They came up with cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, which I've always been reading about, but never knew it was a possibility to use it for trade. They attacked them, they came up with their security and security dogs. They discouraged them from getting medical, they came up with their ambulance and everything. They cooked, served, were making merry. And for the first time, I saw a group of people being very, very proud of the word Nigeria. Before that time, there is a lot of misapprehension once you mention Nigeria. But I saw a young crop of people embrace the word Nigeria and took it to a different level. So, my word today is a word of encouragement. Yes, We've been brutalized, but we are still standing. And the question will be, what next? Where do we go from here? We are not going to give up. We are not going to give up on the system. We're not going to give up on the country, because that is all we have. By and large, each and every one of us here, you have not less than 20, 50 relations or relatives out there. Half of us are still represented out there. So we are trying to start a movement. And that movement is all about how can we translate our knowledge and our experience from here to Nigeria. We are starting a platform called Nigerian Patriots. What it's all about is a place where intellectuals, professionals can come up and contribute different ideas on what we feel should be done. Because the bottom line of all what we are asking for is one thing: a Nigeria that is working for everybody. Nigeria that is working for everybody, how do we achieve it? So that is what this is all about. So we'll be sending out emails. It will be strictly an online event of diasporans all over the world, from North America to Europe, Russia, South America, Brazil, and India, all of them. So on a regular basis, we'll pick up one topic. It could be healthcare. We invite professionals in the healthcare. How can we turn around the healthcare situation in Nigeria? And once we have professionals deliver papers on that, we will package it and send it through our ambassador to the government and the House. The next topic could be on education. If you've been following up with what is happening in Nigeria, since March, ASU has been on strike. In Nigeria, you know when you get into the university, but you don't know when you graduate. So that is a common distance. So why should we lose our hard-earned foreign currency in sending our children, ours, to schools in West Africa, Ghana, Europe? Whereas when I was growing up, when I was in the high school, those who graduated from the US with PhD are rated as master's degree holders in Nigeria. Those who graduated with masters are rated as first degree holders in Nigeria because of the quality of education we have in Nigeria. And all those are now gone. How do we bring them back? So we should be open. Now is no longer the time to stay in the Facebook or internet and be criticizing. Now is the time to prefer solution. What do we do, or what will we do to make the situation better? What will we do to make our country better? Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a knowledge. Everybody has an experience. Those experiences are now needed for us to forge ahead. Do not stand behind and say, oh, Nigeria is gone, is bad, nothing good comes out of it. It is us who can make it good. United States is not going to make it good for us. Canada is not going to make it good for us. United Nations is not going to make it good for us. It is we Nigerians who is going to make Nigeria good for Nigerians. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Thank you.
Vinyl album, but Bourbon, Old Forester, never gets old.
I don't know how many, with due respect to everybody here, I don't know how many people were born when this song came out, but it's so relevant here. It was by Sonny Okosun. It says, which way Nigeria? Let's listen and enjoy.
Hello Nigerians, this video is gonna be released soon. It's just in support of the Nigerian rally happening tomorrow at the City Hall here in Calgary. And I'm here with my buddy, Dr. Dean Wakama. Unfortunately, we're not gonna be there. We're heading out for a meeting. And just our heart and soul are with you guys in solidarity with the Nigerian people back home in Nigeria to end SARS. End police brutality, Dr. Wakama.
Absolutely.
That is all we are asking for. We are asking.
It's high time Nigerian youth stood up to the stupidity that is going on in our governance. We've had it for so long. Now it's time to stand up and speak out. SARS not only end by just prescription by mouth, it has to end fundamentally. Police brutality is unacceptable in all ramifications. So Nigerian youths, make sure you are focused, make sure you are consistent, and make sure that this time around you are not going to back down. Nigeria must have change, and change that will be sustainable. So we stand in support of all efforts by the Nigerian youth to make sure that Nigeria becomes a better place for all of us and our children.
And the big shout out, thanks Doctor, and the big shout out to Kasade Radio for streamlining this live, for covering this event. A big shout out to the Nigerian PRO, which shine. A big shout out to the Nigerian community here in Calgary. We are in heart and soul. Our spirit is all with you guys. Thank you so much for being part of this advocacy, and we our mind and soul are with you guys in spirit. Thank you guys.
Peace, guys.
Peace.
Fellow Nigerians, if you think what is going on in the country right now is a joke, I think you should have a rethink. Nigerians all over the world are hungry at the present situation of their country. What is happening right now all over the world is not just about Endsars. What you see all over the world is typical expression of anger that has been bottled up for years. People are woken up. Nigerians are saying no to slavery. Nigerians are tired of living as slaves in their own country. 60 years ago, Nigeria gained independence. But the question is, are we truly independent? Powers have exchanged hands for the past 60 years, and everything keep on deteriorating. For the past 60 years, no education, no good roads, the health sector is bad, business don't thrive here in the country, and that is why you see many people run out of the country, because they want a system that works. They don't want their children to live in a system that is corrupt by our leaders, by bad governance. And if you want to know what you see happening right now, it's no ordinary. The long-awaited revolution is here. We will never stop until we get what we want, because the future is in our hands, and we will do everything in our power to make a new Nigeria that everyone longs to see happen. We are tired of being slaves in our own country. We are tired of running out of this country to other nations where things work. We want Nigeria to work, and that is why we are out there, and we will never stop until we get what we want. You think we're gonna get tired? This generation is not the common one. You have the wrong definition of today's generation. We will never stop. We will never get tired until we have what we want. The Bible makes it clear that when the wicked is in power, the people languish, but not anymore. People are taking responsibility. People are waking up. They are tired.
Endsars. Endsars in Nigeria. Endsars in Nigeria. I'm going to call on Oyema Kemi to say a few words, please.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Endsars, stop police brutality and corruption in Nigeria. You know, it's really hard, very heartbreaking to see a country that is so enduring, that has so much potential, just go down the drains for nothing. Like, I grew up in Nigeria. It was something that you aspire, you had hopes, you had dreams. Now, there's nothing. Nothing is working. We have children going to school, but they're not in school. We have the strikes. It's ridiculous. People are starving. How much money can you send? How much money are we going to keep sending to our people? What's the point of that? You just send money and it goes down the drain. Nothing is working, nothing is changing. Because you have people up there who their mission is just to sit there and spend all the money and sleep on people who have empty stomachs. It's ridiculous. We saw the videos. We saw what happened with the COVID supplies. Just piled up in there. People are dying, people are starving. There's no work, nothing is working. And we are going to hold other governments accountable too. Because they keep sending things there. How can you send money? How can you send resources? And you're not asking, where is it going? How are the people using it? You can't just send and you close your eyes and you think you're NGO or your government. We are holding governments accountable as well. If you are sending resources to Nigeria, please follow through. Let us ask, where is it going? Talk to the people. See how it's being used. Look at people struggling, and then you have police people going there killing people for no reason. Please, let's stop this. I'm calling the whole world to just witness this so that they know that there was a time this happened. Because if they don't come out and help, it's going to turn to different, we're going to be talking about something different in a few years. We want to stop things before it becomes a major crisis. Nigeria is too good to go down the drains. End for police brutality. Endsars. Stop corruption. Take Nigeria back to where it used to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We want to call on Mr. Stephen.
Endsars. End police brutality. End all extrajudicial killings in Nigeria. My name is Stephen, and I'm a child born during the Civil War. Every time I see people killed by the state, something dies in me. I've always stood against Nigerian flag because of what the flag reminds me. It reminds me of death. It reminds me of blockade. It reminds me of mass murder. It reminds me of soldiers of Nigerian military boasting that they shot on everything that moves. That's genocide. Not a single Nigerian retired soldier has been charged for extrajudicial killing of Biafrans. Nigerians here in Calgary saw me 3 years ago stand here during the winter demonstrating with Biafran flag in my hand. And a lot of people will be surprised today, why am I here? I'm here because every life of every black man must matter to fellow black people before other people of the world will care about who we are. This was said to me by a white guy here in Calgary 3 days ago. He said, what is that going on in Nigeria, your country? Your government sends soldiers and police to kill people for demonstrating? Unarmed civilians? Well, it has happened in so many places in the southeast and south-south. Biafrans have been targeted and killed for demanding for referendum. Is that the type of country we want to have as a people? That people cannot peacefully agitate for something? Whether it's Oduduwa Republic or Biafra or Ariwa, whatever it is, should we kill ourselves for making such demand, or we should talk to each other? This is the problem I've always had about Nigeria. We're here today because people got shot at Lekki, peaceful demonstrators. The government actually used their own agents to disrupt demonstration in Abuja. They burned cars and businesses belonging to other people, people that were brought in by government, with government security vehicles picking them up for safety. Now, if we do not begin to speak and cry out louder than we are doing already, the world will never take us serious. They think it's a joke. When people are killed in Nigeria, nobody reports it. The global press ignores it because it's an African matter. Well, maybe we should all go and look at certain things that are going on. The colonization of Nigeria. It is the same Britain that colonized Nigeria that colonized Canada. Why is Canada a functional country and Nigeria is dysfunctional? We should also include split in Nigeria's discussion. Do we want Nigeria to be as it is, or we want to go away and give ourselves space and be good neighbors? We cannot continue to talk about one Nigeria. I mean, what did Fela continue to say until he died? It's about the dysfunctionality of Nigeria. The same thing Sonny Okosi sang. Are we having one Nigeria or divided Nigeria? Because in the south and middle belt, people were demonstrating, and in the north, they were demonstrating in support of the government. If we do not have government of unity, we do not have a country. If the constitution of Nigeria is what is causing us all this trouble, then we should do something about it. Not amendment by the National Assembly, because they are beneficiaries of that fraudulent constitution. It's not working for the people of the country. There's anxiety every day. If you travel home today, the situation you meet will be worse than next time you go back. Why are we going down every day? No amount is sufficient for Nigerian politicians to steal, yet the people are dying. I mean, look at the warehouses that are being broken in, because the government, the officials never bothered about the people's lives. So people are dying of hunger when there are food in the warehouses. I don't know, but let each of our lives be dear to all of us. I grew up in Lagos. I'm a Lagosian. Lagos brought up. I have friends that are closer than blood brothers from other tribes. So it hurts me the way our people are being treated by corrupt governments. Muhammad Buhari, is he for Nigerians or against Nigeria? So he's the #1 breaker of Nigeria, not me. All I'm asking for is justice for the living and the dead. For the memory of the dead, we must try all those that have carried out extrajudicial killings. If we don't do it, we have no country. We're just wasting our time. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, my brother. What he said is, let us encourage free speech. Let us talk to each other with respect, and let us find a way forward that works for everyone, not just for the very few. So I will call on Oyema, please step up.
Good afternoon, everyone. For me, the whole police thing is quite personal. In 2011, I had a colleague who was coming into work. She just had a baby. I think her baby was like 3-4 months. And she was ill that day, and the branch manager says, "Oh, please, we need a lot of people on ground. Please come into work." So she left the house, took a taxi, and the taxi was making a U-turn in front of a bank, which I will not name. And the policeman told the taxi, "You can't turn in front of this place." Maybe the taxi man didn't hear, I don't know. But the policeman brings out his gun, aims at the taxi driver, but hits my colleague. And she died on the spot. Until today, Nothing happened to the man. We made a lot of noise as colleagues and everything. The only thing they did was just to sack the man. He wasn't tried. He was not jailed. That's number one experience. Number two, this same SARS picked up my brother-in-law because someone stole his checkbook and forged it, went to buy goods, and the check bounced, obviously. He didn't know what was going on, and he was arrested, taken from his family to Port Harcourt. It was just the grace of God, because you hear stories of people getting picked up, and their families can't find them anymore. So for me, this is very, very personal, because police has picked up my brother for wandering. I could go on and on. So when we come out and we say Endsars, it's not just that we're chanting the hashtag that is trending. This is something that is personal. This is something that is hitting people. There are mothers that don't know where their children are. They can't even find the body to bury. There is no closure. You hear stories all over Nigeria. Initially, I thought maybe it was a Lagos and Abuja thing. But you hear about SARS in Okuzu, you hear about SARS in Benin. It's crazy. And then you start to find out that it's not just the police that is the problem. The police is simply a reflection of what Nigeria is. Because every unit is just a microcosm of what the country as a whole is. So even though we're saying we should end SARS today, we need to change everything. We need to change everything. I'm 37 years old. I was born in Nigeria. From the day I was born, I have never seen a good Nigeria. I've always heard about it. How long? How long will it just be stories in the past? You have these children coming up. What future do you have for them? How many people can come to Canada? How many people can go to the US? How many people can go to Europe? If we don't start today, if we don't start now, what can you do? Ask yourself, how do you make a change? What do you do? Don't just think, oh, it's because it's in Nigeria, it doesn't concern you, I have escaped. My dear brothers and sisters, you have not escaped though. It is all of our problems. It is all of our problems. Forgive me if I'm getting emotional. It is all of us. It is all of us. What are we going to do? We cannot continue like this. These people have taken us for a ride for too long. How do you make a difference? How do you change in your own way? What changes can you make? Start. Who are you going to influence? If it means you calling your nephews back home and making sure that they are doing right, you have to start to make a change. It doesn't have to be one big thing. In your own way, let it be that you're doing something small and making a difference. But we all have to do it together. There's 200 million of us. There is so much potential. Look at what people are achieving. Look at those Paystack boys that their company was bought by Stripe. Look at what our people are doing. We have it in us. We are a mighty people. We are a mighty people. We have it in us. So my charge to each and every one of us today is do something. No matter how small, we're here. We're starting it. Yes, I agree. But beyond carrying these placards, when you go home, ask yourself, what can I do to make a difference? In my own little way, you're changing your own community. Start it. So that when you look back, you will say, at least I came out. At least I did something. I believe that in my lifetime, I will see the Nigeria of my dreams. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I call on Akeem, please?
Thank you very much. That was a powerful speech. My name is Akeem Lawal. I'm a Nigerian for Canadian. I moved here 2002 for university, and I've been here since then. The last speaker spoke about what can we do. I think the conversation has gone through different phases, but the most important phase is what she has mentioned. What can we do? I will tell you guys some of the things that young people, ever since this Endsars protest started, that they have been doing. I've been a part of one of the group that is doing something, and I will mention that. But before I mention that, I want to tell you guys a quick short story. I came here in 2002. I didn't go back to Nigeria until 2018. My mother came here in 2018, April, to announce to me that she had breast cancer. We went for tests here. He had gotten to stage 4. And she knew that, yes, it was terminal. But she kept telling me she wanted to go back to Nigeria. Despite all the help and every place that we wanted to take her to, she said she wanted to go to Nigeria because she believed in the country. The same patriotism that made her want to go back to Nigeria, even when she knew she was dying, is the same patriotism that each one of us standing here have. Regardless of how bad the nation is, regardless of how bad the leaders are, we are still patriotic. We are still a resilient bunch, and I don't want us to ever lose sight of that. That being said, what can we do? The protest movement have started from Endsars. The Endsars was just the remote effect. It was what started the agitation. This has been going on for a long time, just like the speaker before the last one said. This has been going on in Southeast. This has been going on in different parts of Nigeria. We have to do something. And the group that I'm working with right now, they have a program called NYEP. It's a group of young people from all over the world, from Europe, from Canada. What NYEP stands for is Nigeria Young, let me see, what's the empowerment program. Now, when this Endsars started, it started with the Nigerian youth. And we all know when you hear the word Nigerian youth, I mean the phrase Nigerian youth, it's representing me and you, the professional youth. It's not a representative of the youth that the government would rather label as agbero, the youth that the government would rather label as hoodlums, the people who really need the help. We are the youth that the government gave lime to and we made lemonade out of it. But the actual youth that need help, the ones that our politicians would rather use to steal votes, the ones that our politicians would rather use to steal our future, we need to come together and find ways to help. And that is what that group is targeting. How do we reach out to those youth and help them and make sure that they see a better life? So as soon as we put structure in this organization, I will pass the message to our president, and I'm hoping that we will get some people in Calgary be a part of that movement as well. And we will definitely work with the other group that Mr. Ezenwa mentioned, which is what is the name? The Nigerian Patriots. And I'm happy that you're starting from the healthcare, because I feel if the healthcare in Nigeria was something to write home about, my mother would probably still would still live another 6 months. She died 2 months after she left Canada. I don't want to make it about my mother or myself. I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I'll pass the message, the information to the president when we get everything together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When it comes to a lot of things in Nigeria, the reason why I am here and the reason why Nigeria, the NCAC agreed to do this, is not to complain, but it's to find a way forward. Because look, complaining is cheap. It's so easy to criticize. It costs nothing. You just open your mouth. But to do something takes a lot. And that's why I appreciate you coming out today. But look, don't let anyone deceive you thinking we need a mass crowd to make a difference. You don't. If you remember the Chinese protest, I think it was 19, I can't remember what it was. One young woman stood in front of tanks and stopped the advancement of tanks. She probably this tall. The entire world was watching, so the tank couldn't run over her. They tried to move her, they couldn't move her. She stopped tanks. She stood there. She refused to move. One person. Population of China, over 1.3 billion. You can make a difference. So look inwards, do something. And as long as some of us keep doing one thing right, it may take 50 years, it may take 100 years, we will get there. Canada is not celebrating 60 years independence. Canada has been around a lot more longer. Same as America. They had their civil war in the 1700s. You build on your country 1 year at a time. But the biggest crime that we all can commit is to give up. So thank you very much for those who have speaking. I think I have Alex. Alex, that also wants to say something.
Endsars. Endsars. I'm so privileged to be here. I came into Canada this year, and trust me, I was a practicing dentist back home. I practiced for 5 years, but there came a time when there was this unusual pressure on me from my patients to relocate. But I couldn't understand it until some of my colleagues now traveled and started telling me some things. But I'm happy to be connecting with all of you because most people grew up in Nigeria and relocated down here. The reason why this is such a huge movement, and I think we need to understand this, is because the rest of Africa is actually looking up to Nigeria for this. If Nigeria gets it right, dictatorship will end in the whole of Africa. And that is very important. So one of my mentors once pointed out to me that when you look at the shape of Africa, it looks like an inverted gun. Nigeria is the trigger of Africa. And I remember when one of the presidential aspirants back in 2019 went to South Africa. He was making a comment on their national TV station. They had to shut down that interview because of the xenophobic attacks that was happening in South Africa. And he mentioned, it told them that, look, if Nigeria was like being led rightly, xenophobia would have stopped. You wouldn't even be thinking about harming Nigerians. But that was not the point. The point is, Nigeria has to get it right for Africa to be better. I've been brutalized by police before, even as a doctor, and it was not funny. My saving grace was just my Nigerian Medical Association's ID card. And till now, I still always live up to that memory. We have seen how the so-called, I don't want to call them leaders, the so-called dictators and rulers back home have handled this whole end police brutality movement and Endsars. This morning, I woke up to a news because when soldiers were killing those people at the Lekki toll gate, they were also packing bodies away to cover up their tracks. But a day after that incident happened, a guy granted an interview and said he had to swim. He had to jump into the lagoon to come out from another end, that they were shooting into the river. So this morning, one of the bodies floated out. I don't know if anybody saw it. Now everybody's trying their best to see that an autopsy is done. It is a shame that, I came into Canada, I've only seen an army official once here in downtown. And the guy was going, there were three actually. And I was telling my colleague that this is the first time I'm seeing a Canadian army official. In Nigeria, they parade the streets holding guns. They brutalize you. Same thing with the police. This is not right. And the police too don't even understand that they are actually fighting for them. As if you go to police barracks, refugee camps in some other countries are better than that police barracks. Most police barracks. And it's such a shame that they don't even understand this situation. How can a policeman be earning? When last week I was telling my colleague that the average policeman earns, I'm saying from the lower cadre upwards, like 200 Canadian dollars, or even less than that. And she was like, that's not even enough for our groceries. I said, exactly. But you have a bunch of people that we call senators and House of Reps, that by now, you are saying you are representing people. You are going for a plenary session. People are being killed. Back in the 1967, when the Civil War started, and I'm glad Mr. Steve brought that up, we are reading them in books now. But the fact remains that no matter the books that we read, it cannot quantify how that brutality went down, because then they don't have technology. But now we have technology. You saw how CNN was querying Jide Sanwo-Olu. He was feeling like he was like a kindergarten being queried. The NBC had to be shutting stations down. And I'm asking, are we in a military regime? This has to stop. This is the message Nigerians are trying to pass across. Ghanaians, Equatorial Guinea and the likes, Congo, there's so many things happening around there. But Nigeria has to get it right. And that's why we are all out here joining this movement. This morning, I spent my first 3 hours of the day joining 7,000 people in a new movement that's called RemoveNiger.com. And it was really, really eye-opening, because the likes of them, Ebuka, Aisha Yesufu, and those people that were at the forefront, all others, they had to give out, and we started talking about way forward. Nigerians in the diaspora have to have a say in the next election. That is one of the things we talked about and concluded on. We need to start mounting pressure now. Everywhere around the world, nobody is talking about voters. Voters card was being sold on AliExpress, on Alibaba. That was in 2015. I saw it. And that's why you can see someone that on election day, they will nab is with 20,000 PVCs. Is with 5,000 PVCs. We don't need PVCs, that's the fact. The SIN that we have here, or the BVN that we have in Nigeria, all we just need is tech guys that will synchronize it in such a way that we can all vote. Those that are almost finishing high school by now should be getting ready to vote in the next election, because the average age is 16 or 15. So it's just personally, I feel it's a waste of time saying go and get. Now we are saying it in social media. Go and get your PVCs. Nothing will happen until 6 months before the election. And the only way we can drive these people out is by election. May God help Nigeria. Endsars.
Thank you very much, my brother. I just want to mention here that I do have a lot of respect for the people we call youth. I don't know about you, I'm also a youth. Yes. But people we call youth, I have a lot of respect for them. And I want to encourage them to, maybe like Ben said, maybe for some of us, it's just late. But for those folks, they can carry on the fight. Many of us here, we were part of all kind of protest. In fact, we call it riots in Nigeria. And yeah, those were violent protests. And we've done our own part in those days. This is the days of the time of social media movement. And Hakeem that spoke before, part of a movement. I don't know if Irene is here now. Okay, Irene, may I call on you, please? You know, those are people that I respect. I remember when she called and we were speaking, she said She was speaking very quietly. You know, you could tell that her mood was very low. I was in between 3 conference calls, but I was speaking with her. I put everything on mute. So, and I tested her back. I said, you said you were really struggling. I said, is that something I can do? Is that something I can do to help you? She said, no, I'm okay. It's just because of the video I saw on Tuesday, which was when being shown live, when those kids were being killed at Lekki Bridge, at Lekki toll gate. And then herself, her group, the students, I hope a few of them are here today as well, started the movement, went ahead, and they staged a few rallies here in Calgary. And I know, just like Hakeem said, there's a lot of conversation going on what next. It is important to talk about what next. Some of us are in corporate world. It's all about what next. So, and that's why when Ben reached out to me about what he's doing and Hakeem what he's doing, what everybody is doing, it all matters. It all counts. We're not competing against each other. We're on the same team. What you cannot do is not to do anything. So please, I ask you, using the words of the Bible, my apologies, I beseech you, please, you cannot stand on the sideline. This is not a sprint, this is a marathon. So this is not about who gets out first. It's about sustaining the conversation. So thank you very much. I'll call Irene Joe, my dear sister, God bless you and your group. Hakeem, God bless you. I know that you started all this together. And as many people that are here, you probably recognize them. I want to give you a chance to say a few words. So please use.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to add to what everyone has said. The voice of Nigerians in the diaspora is very, very important. And some people said to me today, they said, oh, we've had many protests. Do you think that, we should still keep having more? And I said, we need to keep the conversation going. Right now, there are a lot of people back at home that are scared for their life. A lot of people are threatened. A lot of people are being intimidated. So they don't necessarily have the luxury of that freedom to even protest. So Nigerians around the world, the good thing is we're scattered everywhere in the world. So we will use that to our advantage, and we will continue to have this conversation. We will continue to have strategic ways of creating that Nigeria that we all desire. It's going to take much more than the leadership of Nigeria, including the president, commissioners, ministers, and all of that to change Nigeria. I think it starts with every one of us, every individual. It's all hands on deck. It's how you live your life every day. Even being here in Canada, being here in the city of Calgary, we must understand that we are assets to our host country, which is Canada. Canada should see us as people who bring value and add value to our community. We have to be intentional about the things that we do, because in living your life, you will be inspiring other people. It's nice to come out. It's nice to continue to have this conversation. Let's pay attention to what is happening back at home, as well as paying attention to our community here in Calgary. Getting involved with NCAC and all the other associations that stand to bring us together and provide platforms where especially youths will be mentored and have the opportunity to succeed in their various careers. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Fellow Nigerians, if you think what is going on in the country right now is a joke, I think you should have a rethink. Nigerians all over the world are hungry at the present situation of their country. What is happening right now all over the world is not just about Endsars. What you see all over the world is
and a couple of other organizations. And I want to appreciate all those who have already talked ahead of me, especially my brother Hakim Lawang. I remember him because I did something, I think one of my daughters did something together with me recently. Endsars. End police brutality. End bad constitution. What is not good has no other name but what? But bad. One of our sisters spoke a while ago and said that she's 37 years of age, and all that she has ever met was that Nigeria is not, or there's nothing good about Nigeria. I'm here to say that my own, you can see from my color of my hair that I'm not 37. Maybe close to the other, close to the last of those numbers. I've seen the good side of Nigeria before, and I've seen the bad side. And I keep on asking the same simple question. If you have tasted the bad and the good, why can't you stick on or go back to what? To what is good? But, as they always say, there are too many people who are now benefiting from this bad. And for us to make the change that we are all counseling for, we need a good strategy. Strategic thinking or planning are not done in the open. So we speak a lot here, but I'd like to count on the NCAC and all the various groups that are meeting and are forwarding their plans to the center, because there has to be very careful coordination. We saw in action how those youngsters performed in Nigeria without any committee or any general meeting anywhere or assembly. They showed us a model of leadership until the so-called hoodlums or the so-called infiltrators, bad ones, bad eggs came in. In every society, you always have the bad eggs. So there's always a program again, or there should be a program to have to handle the bad eggs. We used to be under a Federal Republic of Nigeria, the federation system. It worked, regional system. It worked. I benefited from it. I went to school and had bursary awards, free feeding. I mean, nobody could even do that. You could buy food at those days for something like peanuts. I can't mention the figure, it's too small to imagine. 25 kobo, not naira. 25 kobo for your breakfast, 50 for lunch, 50 for dinner, and everything total level about 70. It's ridiculous. I was in the university when we were just two in a room, two in a whole room. Not now that you don't even know how many people belong to that particular room. Now, this event of last Tuesday happened on a very bad day for me. Why? That was exactly my birthday. And Nigerian hoodlums, or government-aided hoodlums, turned it to be a red Tuesday. It will go down in memory for a different action. But here's where I'm going to. They say there's always a last straw that brings the camel's back. We are shouting Endsars today. Endsars is just like the last straw. There are too many things that have gone bad in Nigeria over time. I went to my old institution, the Great Ife. Anybody here from University of Ife? Great Ife. You will know what to do by Great Ife in the days of the 70s and the 80s when I was in school. But I just said, let me take a stroll there in 2017 before coming back to settle here, only to be taken on a tour of my chemical engineering department, and I went. I didn't believe I graduated from that particular institution any longer. And since then, I've been a champion for how to reconstruct and rebuild or restore the image of that department and the entire university in particular, as a whole. But guess what? The issue that has been holding all of us up right now is sustainability. Because you look at the bigger picture, pump any amount of money into that system. If there's no guarantee for her to sustain, they're coming back to you in a few years. Oh God, we are here again, begging for another round of money. So Endsars is just the last straw that does what? Bring the Kamesta. It has broken the Kamesta. So I want to encourage us, don't give up. It's a long journey, but it can be short. Ours don't have to end up in 150 years of Canada before they can be tasting good independence, or 276 in US. Remember a country like Singapore that was even pushed out, ultimately to go and fend for themselves by Malaysia. But in 33 short years, under a good leadership that recognized the dignity of labor and quality of education, that country jumped himself or herself from third world country level to a first world country today. It can happen in Nigeria. It doesn't take too much. And we have enough examples right now for you to let us all know that it is feasible. That incident of Endsars, 12 days of protest without borrowing one dime from anybody and without needing service from any of all these juggernauts, is enough an example for me to say, yes, we can do it. So together with all of us in here, if we keep on the spirit of yes, we can do it. Let me end with this. I just read down this morning before I came down here. They used to say that my company, I came and worked for an NPC before I retired. It used to generate the highest income for the nation. And guess what? This last year, I think they said we generated about $11 billion from oil. Oil is now antiquated. If you want to buy something in Canada, they will sell and give it to you free. You can go and store anywhere. It's so cheap right now. But it could only fetch us $11 billion. But you and I here, as diasporans, guess how much we fetched the nation? $25 billion. So who says diaspora should not have a voice? We have a voice already. We just do not know what our worth is. That 25 billion was from those of us who are sending money directly for purposeful use to the end user, that is to your relations or to businesses you kick on over there. If you now add the ones that are going through the back doors, like all these aboki and all these, what do you call them? Those shops, what do you call them? If you, the world they change, God bless you, sir. If you add those ones to it, they say that by estimate we should be about 40 billion. So how can we be adding 40 billion, 25 to 40 billion dollars annually to an economy and we not have a say? We must have a say. So let us not give up at all. Keep on bringing out those ideas. And I beg of my president of the NCAC and all others, we must learn to keep strategy very discreet. You don't say too much into the open. Otherwise, the air is waiting for you. Before you voice it, they are ready to kill it. What happened in Lagos on Tuesday was not a lack of good ideas, but was just those elements who want to terminate good ideas have to come and sow a seed of a bad idea. Till tomorrow night, they could not say who gave the order or who shot first. Train on that confusion, but we shall overcome. End of the day, we shall overcome. We shall celebrate New Nigeria in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. So I'm just going to call upon Pastor Anthony, and that's it. That's it. We gave 4:30 because we started about 10 minutes late. So please, we want to really commit to. So what I was told is he heard from his one of his people in his church that we are having this rally today. He said, I'm going to go stand with Nigeria. So thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it, please.
Thank you. My church member, my church elder, Joel Adesina, he invited me to come today. You know, even though I'm a pastor, I will keep my words short today. But I was looking for a way to do more than just do a retweet or reshare a story on Instagram, as important as raising awareness like that is. And today at church, Joel said to me, well, I'm going to City Hall today for a rally. And I said, I want to join you. I want to join you. I want to stand with you. So I greet you today in the name of Jesus and as a friend of Nigeria. And it was only just over 5 months ago that I stood just across the street with protesters for the Black Lives Matter movement to end police brutality, not only here in Canada, but in the United States. But you know, what I've heard today is so important. The stories that you have shared for those who spoke, it is so important, because if I can just be real with you, as a white Canadian, as North Americans, it is very easy for us to just get caught up in the moment, in the fad, and when something is popular and just in our own backyard to say, okay, I'm gonna go stand, I'm gonna go march, I'm gonna protest. But as it was even said today, when something happens halfway around the world in another country, now in this case Nigeria, there are too many of us, too many of people who look like me, who were silent. And we don't listen, we don't learn. So I don't want to say much today other than I am here to listen, and I have listened today. I have learned from your stories, and you have moved my heart to action. So keep speaking up, keep sharing your stories. And may God give you favor in the sight of our government officials to take up action in the sight of our government. And may God bless you and keep you. Let us end SARS. Let us end police brutality in Nigeria. May God bless and keep you.
Thank you, Pastor Anthony. We will bring this to a close. And what I want us to do, we're going to once again sing national anthem as we close. It means a lot. For now, it means a lot. And that's what we've got. Depending on how we decide to go as a country, for today, that national anthem means a lot. If we follow the words of national anthem, then the country will work for everyone, not just for a few. But before I close, before I close, I want to thank, is that Kasade Media? Kasade Media, he heard that we're doing this. He has a YouTube channel. And he said, look, we've got to put this word out there. So he showed up with all his stuff. Thank you very much, my brother. God will continue to bless you. Thank you. I want to thank everyone that spoke. And I want to thank those that listened. We gave 4:30. I know people have things to do. Emeka said when we sing national anthem, we should also sing the second stanza. Now, some people don't even know the first stanza. And we want to, I know the first and the second stanza. So I am not one of those that don't know. We're going to sing the second stanza. I will lead it. And the second stanza, unfortunately, because of the mass, we won't know people that don't know how to sing it. But we will know that, yeah, we know that when we sing the first stanza, it's going to be very loud. Then the second one is just going to go down. Hey, you know what? That works too. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming. We will sing the national anthem. This will stop at the first stanza, but I'll continue with the second stanza. Endsars. And police brutality.
And police brutality.
Endsars.
Endsars.
And police brutality.
And police brutality.
Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, my name is Ibe, ministering to God's children. Keep watching Kasade Media. Don't touch that dial. Peace.
Fellow Nigerians, if you think what is going on in the country right now is a joke, I think you should have a rethink. Nigerians all over the world are hungry at the present situation of their country. What is happening right now all over the world is not just about Endsars. What you see all over the world is typical expression of anger that has been bottled up for years. People are woken up. Nigerians are saying no to slavery. Nigerians are tired of living as slaves in their own country.
Okay, so this is Kasade Media. Gentlemen, welcome Nigerians. This show is called Why Sit On.
Oh, is that what you my hairstyle, see how they do. You see, she don't join me. My hairstyle, how they do. See, how they do. See, she don't join me for my hair.
Well, my name is Shom Shola, the president of NCAC, that is the Nigerian Canadian Association of Calgary. Endsars is just a movement, and depending on who you talk to, means different things. But basically, we're talking about let's build a new Nigeria that works for everyone. The way the country is structured right now seems to benefit just very few, and sadly has driven a lot of very, very intelligent and smart Nigerians out of the shore of the country. And we're proud to be here in Canada, but we would love to also contribute to Nigerian development. Right now, we don't get that chance. So Endsars is not just end police brutality, which is also important. It's not to end bad governance, which is also important. It's about looking forward. Let's build a Nigeria that works for everyone. Whatever that means, that is important, and that's the conversation.
Just so you are watching our machine, so I just want to ask you, what solution to the problem that's happening back home in Nigeria?
Well, there are different pieces to the solution. I don't think there's one solution. I think that, interestingly, our youth have shown the way. So the Endsars started by the youth of Nigeria. And what we're doing in Calgary and around the world is to show support, is to indicate our willingness to step out of the way, allow people to do. So what would be the solution? I think the peaceful protest is the beginning, but I think we need a lot more. We need an engagement. We need people to get to the table to have a conversation around what would work and what would not work. And so it would be pressure groups, it would be groups like our own, touching base groups outside the country, outside Canada as well, and coming together and making sure that the government and the Nigeria is listening to this.
Thank you, President NCC. Thank you, President NCC. We hope that this struggle, this protest, this rally brings about a fruitful change in the great country Nigeria. And something we can put your chest and say, alas, Nigeria is once again a great country. Thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you. Before we go again, the Vice President Patrick said something about the youth starting the movement. I would like you to also speak to a friend of mine, Irene Joe. She's right here. And if you could just let us say a few words as well, why we can step out of the fray.
Okay. Irene, it's good to have you, and I understand that you're one of the people who are very passionate about the old Endsars movement.
putting an end to bad governance and holding our leaders accountable for their actions and lack of actions.
Thank you very much. Is there anything Nigerians in diaspora are doing to see that it comes to solution?
Right. Currently, I think creating the awareness and connecting like minds who are interested and passionate about changing the narratives and ensuring that the success of the Nigerian it's been a great time, especially because people they've shown up without being invited, or they've reached out and indicated their interest, and they've committed to, and they've taken it as and they've executed it towards their mission. They've committed their resources, their time, and their expertise to reaching the Nigerian to this is such a critical because right now, every Nigerian, most Nigerian youths, they are ready to go. They are ready to take their responsibility. They are ready to receive leadership. So taking on the initiative to do that, to let governments and to show the world truly we have the numbers and the youth population numbers in good Nigeria across the world. So it's been an absolute pleasure, and it's something that we're all proud of. Even with the way that the protest was conducted back in Nigeria, it did set a standard up until when all of this happened and people hijacked it. But then it set a standard not only in Nigeria but in the whole world. We had youths who would come out to protest. They would clean up. They would support each other. They would raise money. It's not something that has ever been heard of. So it's something that we should be proud of, and we should not take it for granted. We should acknowledge it. Sadly, things went out of control after October 20th. But when we look back at the history of this particular Endsars movement and protest around Nigeria, is something that is very, very interesting.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much for taking time to talk to us. We hope that all of this protest and all the conversations that are going on that will eventually bring about Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. McDonald, thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to ask you, because I see that you're really with the whole Endsars and talks think about the better government in Nigeria. And I see this about what is going on. I want to ask you, do you think that the international community, what you guys in diaspora do, you think it's going to work? Do you see any progress in that direction?
Okay, I would say that the international community, they are hearing actually because we've seen a lot of people make their own contributions. We saw the former Secretary of State to the United States of America, that's Hillary Clinton, who tweeted about it. And a lot of celebrities and government officials have already made their own contributions. But I think that for a long time, Nigerians in diaspora tend to kind of take a back seat when it comes to Nigeria's issues. But right now, I think we are saying that there has to be a change. The narrative has to change. That we have a stake, we are major stakeholders in the Nigerian project. We must bring our group together. What the experience and concept that over $40 billion is taken back to Nigeria every year by the diaspora. It means that we should actually lend our voice and play the narrative.
I like what you're actually wearing. I like the couple of military kind of that you're ready to fight them. Anyway, just a quick one. So, do you, because I really trust that eventually all of this comes to pass. You know, I hope that someday all of the things that you guys are aspiring for, all of this protest, it would someday bring about the desired change. So I'm asking you, you know, do you see yourself going back, relocating to Nigeria to settle when everything becomes good?
See, this whole issue is not a sprint; it's a marathon. You see, we are willing to wait out the change that we are seeking. For me, I think that I don't expect a change in 1 year. I don't expect to see everything in Nigeria be done even in 10 years. But we keep giving the best we can. Oh yes, that's our fatherland. We always have to do that. But I know that this agitation for the Nigeria is a marathon, and we are willing to run it to the very end. And you see, it's like a marathon and a relay. When you run your part, you hand the baton over to someone else to continue his business. So we are ready for the long.
Thank you so very much, Mr. McDonald. I just trust that someday, no matter how long it takes, no matter the years, that this whole protest, the whole desire for a better Nigeria comes to pass. Thank you so very much again. Thank you, McDonald. And once again, this is Emmy Shine, presenting YYC Talk, and also Kasade Media, Kasade Radio. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, listeners. And we hope to see you sometime soon. Thank you and have a beautiful day. God bless.